And I'm telling you right now, we're firing our tech people. We are firing our tech people, right, Tommy? They didn't have Tommy sound right, and they're getting fired. Well, we don't have tech people yet, but we're going to have tech people. Sooner or later, we'll have tech people. But guys, me and Tommy think it's because we were talking about UFOs. We were talking about the missing general and the woman. And since we were talking about UFOs, we believe, me and Tommy believe, somehow they were trying to interrupt our communication. But Tommy, now that you're back and I can hear you, let's deep dive into this. Tommy, what do you think's going on? Do you think it's I'm going to give you examples of what it could be. Okay. This is what people say. These UFOs are either people from other planets, okay, extraterrestrials from other planets. They're interdimensional beings. They're spirits. So this is all the things that people are saying: spirits, interdimensional beings, people from other planets. And some people, Tommy, say it's us from the future, that we're returning from the future, and it's human beings from the future. Now, Tommy, what do you think? I gave you 4 examples. What do you think it is?
Well, they're all good examples,
Uh-huh.
and I do believe it's probably D, all above, because um, there's things here, buildings and structure that a man cannot craft. So there's done things here before us. So I believe it's all the above. It's spiritual, interdimension. There's supreme beings uh, with technology and so advanced that they had to teach us, because you don't learn this type of technology at a Stanford University or Harvard. You just can't. I mean, I don't care what the what they call themselves, the professionals say out there, the buffs. It's just common sense. This technology is so old. So I mean, it's old, but it's so advanced. I mean, yes. If they would have, if these two individuals have not gone missing, okay, um, they think that we cannot handle the truth. It's not gonna. I mean, I think there'll be a block party, because we're going to say, we told you so. Come on, if you would have said back in the 40s or 50s, this would have been a walk in the park. But yes, yeah, I believe there's a supreme beams.
And Tommy, that's the thing. I mean, I think people on the internet is saying, are people awake? And I see more and people waking up. And I think me and you are awake. We know something is going on in our skies, something's going on in our planet. And if you don't see it, you're kidding yourself. You're scared and you're kidding yourself. And I'm going to tell you this, Tommy. What I do is every time somebody releases some kind of UFO thing, any video, anything, I go right to the comments. And Tommy, a lot of the comments are people saying, yes, I seen it, I believe. But then you have the people, oh, ha, ha, this is such a joke. You guys are so gullible. Tommy, they're not really making fun out of us. They're scared. They're scared because their reality is starting to crash. Okay. And I think what the problem is, no matter if you're Christian, Muslim, whatever the hell you practice, this is going to put a little zap to your religion. Okay, it is. And I think that's what they're scared about, that this is going to hurt religion when the truth comes out. Honestly, because if you remember, the Bible says we're it. Okay, basically, humans are it. So if there is another people here, it's going to screw the Bible up. Okay, and everybody else's religion. So that's my fear. I think that's our government's fear. Our government's fear, it's going to fuck up religion.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to have their hand in the cookie jar. Let's just say the Vatican has all what mankind's been looking for. The Indiana Jones, them folks out there. The Vatican has a underground bunker layers of thing that throughout history, even since what the Bible describes, there were giants. Before us, there were giants. It's in black and white in the Bible. There are giants. And they had technology then, and they had technology throughout until we come along. And so, yes, I agree what you said. But you know, both sides of my family have seen unidentified flying objects. You
I
know,
remember you telling me, yeah.
yeah. So and I know I'm not the only one. And to some extent, I think during the era before technology, uh, everything was in books and everything were word of mouth. Okay. I think it was misunderstood technology. You fast forward now, you look back and said, yeah, that's what we're seeing today. And that's what they saw back then. Maybe it is us from the future, very future. It's just they're trying to put us in a correction. You know, it's in the direction where humanity supposed to be. That's why, you know, like you said, there are people in the comments throwing back and forth. It's a battle of uh, their faith, and they're going to disrupt it. You're going to lose all religion and stuff. And um, you know what? I tell you what, I believe it's going to be interesting because I tell you what, this general, when he went missing 9 months after the aerospace lady who perfected and invented this type of metal that it's, I mean, beyond powerful. I mean, it's something that they're like, oh, snaps. Can humans really get that far? Yes. We only use certain percentage of our brain, and I believe they get the best of the best who can operate another level than a normal person who has a IQ of say 180, 175. They got people with higher IQs. If they would have dug deep on that missing lady, the Aerosmith, and then 9 months later, the general, I believe that these two uh, work hand in hand, and they're probably afraid. People do slip up, sometimes say the quiet part out loud, and maybe there's don't want people to know certain things, the forbidden knowledge. And so I believe that, like you said earlier, we're awake, and there's nothing what they done to us in 2020. There's nothing can fucking phase me at this point in my life.
Well, Tommy, let me ask you this, and this is going to be even more controversial. Okay, but that's what I do. I'm the most controversial guy on social media. I'm going to tell you this, Tommy. A lot of people think this is the end of the world. I'm going to be honest with you. They think we're at end times. That's what I'm seeing. And I'm going to tell you what end times say. End times say that all these things, separation of people, and we're seeing it, separation of family. We're seeing separate families. People are going Republican, Democrat. It split families. It split families up. And the Bible talks about end times as that, talking about a war in Iran and Israel. That was talked about. Tommy, people believe that we are in end times. And I hope that's wrong. I like living here. But Tommy, I got to admit, I think it could be possible too. I do.
Well, if that's the case, then the people who are in power, who have the finger on the button, can make that happen. If they're religious, you know, they're that strongly want to reenact the Bible. They want to like a reboot. You know what I'm saying? But with technology we have today that's been given to us, you know, we have to remember, before they gifted us the supreme beings, the crashed UFO, there was no TVs, there was no, you know, that kind of stuff. There was no Velcro. There was none of the stuff that you see that we have today. That's the technology that they hand given us in Roswell. That's one out of the three that's known that was gifted to us. But they're telling us no, that never happened. But we all common sensely know in our guts. I mean, that's why they always say go with your gut instinct. Well, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I think they're uh, what we're seeing. I think these billionaire elites want to reenact and reboot what's written in the scripture. And
Oh,
people who are not wanting that are fighting against it. And people say, don't go send boots over there in another country. We need to focus over here. And but they want to. They're so hard on recreating what's in the Bible. Christ Himself, Jesus said, "Do not follow man of the world. Don't be following earthly things." Even at the image of Him, He even said that. There is a reason He said that. It's spiritually. You can believe and have faith without seeing. And
I
that was
agree.
His message. That was His
Tommy,
message.
Tommy, a lot of people think that this is going to be a false flag by the government, that the government is doing this and putting the UFOs in the sky and they're holograms and they're doing this to scare the public and it's going to be a false flag in UFO invasion. Honestly, that's what people say on TikTok. I don't
I'm gonna,
believe that. I don't
I'm
believe
gonna,
that, but
t-
you think it could be.
I'm gonna tell you something. Before I got on TikTok, in 2013, this was the subject back then. In
Okay.
2013, and this is during the era of the Obama jail people, Facebook jail, they call it, or Instagram jail, or fact checkers were born. Okay. People who were in the military, veterans, they call it what you call it, the rabbit hole. They're coming out. You have to be careful of what you get yourself into, but you have to have the know abouts. And back then, they were talking about the very same thing that we're talking about, as that they're gearing up. They're slowly breadcrumbing you to the point where if they cannot control the population because we are getting along, all race, all colors, no matter what your sexual preference, everybody gets along. They don't want that because they're losing control, with their propaganda and stuff. So this is the step they're going to reenact the Bible. I agree with the red flag thing is because it's simply there's too much thing going on. It's that they said that remember what's her name, Pam Bondi said the whole system would crash. So that goes back to the Epstein thing. Everything ties in, but before all this weird shit that came along, I do believe we're not the only ones here. Okay. There are some videos from military back in 03, 04 that they actually went through the iceberg, the wall. There are other places outside. We're in a big circle of this iceberg. And I know
Right.
it sounds crazy. People say it's crazy, but no, I like what Danny said. He's not going to sugarcoat shit. I'm not either. And this is what I believe. And I've seen this from 2013. I watched everything about before our existence. I watched the words, and this says it's your interpretation of the Bible or what have you. So when I read the Bible, I actually did. And I had it thinking, um, fast forward, what we're saying is that they want to recreate what was done in the past. Okay. Hollywood's rebooting everything. They're setting up with all these alien movies and futuristic stuff, this and that. Um, they're unearthing some object that it should not be here. So that tells me, uh, you know, reincarnation. We're coming back again, and everything is going to be unearthed again. Um, I believe, Danny, and the viewers that they want to recreate certain scriptures in the Bible from all religion. They're all saying the same thing. And I don't think, because I tell you what, if they want to get rid of it, they would have done it a long time ago. Why now?
Right. So, Tommy, here's the other thing that's going on right now. And I don't know if you heard of him, but when you get off here, and my viewers out there, and Tommy, when you get off here, go on TikTok and Google Chris Blitzo. Okay. And then his daughter, Emily Blitzo. I can't think of his son, but they live in North Carolina. And they've been saying for the last 25 years, orbs have been coming to their father. Their father talks to these beings. All he was a construction worker. This guy is nobody. He was just a very successful construction worker. He got a serious illness, and he believes these beings that came to him fixed him. Okay, that's what he says. And then he says, I think in 1995, Tommy, a lady came to him, and he calls her the lady. Okay, he said this lady came to him in one of these orbs, and she said that there's going to be a new awakening on earth once Israel and Iran start throwing bombs. Okay, and these two stars align. I forget Regulus or some these two stars. I can't even remember the name of the stars, but these stars align on Easter. So wait, folks, wait to hear this. When he got this message, the Pentagon heard he was talking about this. They brought him and his family to the Pentagon and interviewed him. And he told them this back in 1995 that Easter, April 5th, 2026, when these two stars align and Israel and Iran start throwing bombs, we're going to have it. He didn't say it was the end of the world. He said there's going to be a new awakening on the planet, whatever that means. And he said they're going to show themselves more in the sky. So people are seeing these orbs and everything. Now, a lot of people think this is going to be a false flag. Okay. Chris believes this is real. He said these beings been coming to him, and they come to his kids. They come to everybody in his family now.
Yeah, I followed him, and his daughter's mostly her. She's active on TikTok.
She's very active. I watched the daughter. Yeah.
How I view things, I like to view things, I be a sponge. I use that phrase a lot. Absorb. Even though if it's controversial or not, I absorb this and that, and then like puzzle together and see if something aligns. I believe is that what Chris is saying is true because it happened to Leonardo da Vinci.
Okay.
He was just an artist. And then one day, because when I heard Chris's story, and I go, you know what? I read a story about Leonardo da Vinci. Okay. And then there was a documentary of it, and it brought it to light and said, you know what? This guy, Leonardo da Vinci, went to a cave, and he was doing art stuff. And then next, he was not seen for so many years. Then he came back, and you see the inventions that he came out with, the human anatomy. He got the knowledge. He look at these cadavers and start doing this. And in his pictures are orbs. You have to really look. Because then you have to remember in his day, in his time period, conspiracy theorist means truth, and people don't want to hear truth. They'll kill you. That back in those days, they put it on canvas. That was the smart thing to do.
Tommy, and I'm so glad you put that point out there, because I want to tell our audience, we have another congressman, and I can't think of his name. He's a young congressman. He's only in his 40s. There's three of them that are really pushing to get this info out there. You know what he said on News Nation the other day, Tommy? He said what you said. He said he's been talking about UFOs and what he knows. Somebody came to him and told him, you better watch what you're saying. They basically made a death threat against one of our congressmen, saying, you keep talking like this, you might not be alive. So yes, we are still, one of our congressmen actually got a threat over this. That's how powerful this is. They don't want this released because it's going to change reality. Now, Tommy, if you're asking me what I think it is, I'm a religious man, okay? So I'm going to go with the spirits, and I believe that Chris Blitzo believes it's spiritual too. Like if you talk to Chris, he didn't say the lady was Blessed Mother. He didn't say that, okay? But he believes it's some kind of spiritual beings. That's what he believes, that are coming to him.
Well, this, it's what we're talking about. It's mentioned in the book of Enoch, and I believe in the other books that's not been allowed in the scripture, because I think right after they crucified Jesus, that Roman emperor hired somebody to rewrite everything, because the person who actually wrote through the years after he passed was the truth. And because they're saying the Bible's man-made, man written it. Well, yeah, I mean, uh, the name starts with the THLUM, something to that effect. It's a weird name, but it's what you see in the New Testament. Or I mean, excuse me, the New Testament is, or the Old Testament, one of the two, is what he already said, and they just put the Roman emperor and the King James put their 2 cents in there. They kind of move things around. Words are misinterpreted and mispronounced, and so in these books like Enoch, Thomas, and some other people are not supposed to be mentioned. They fully acknowledge everything that's in there. So that's why we don't. That's why the book, the Bible that you see today, has been altered. You've seen it on TikTok. They said what's going on with certain. I forget what verse, because in the book, Jesus just say to purify yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, you have to be fasting. That's called intermittent fasting. When you
Yes.
fast many days, what that does, and between so many days, your body regenerates. The red blood cells regenerates and replenish and get rid of the old red blood cells, and your nervous system gets rebooted, and you get a peace of mind. Your body repairs itself, and then when you eat the proper food, okay, you're one with the Creator. And he says, do not follow earthly things. That means objects, murals, statues. And I believe Jesus was a supreme being, you know.
Oh, yeah. And Tommy, one thing a lot of people don't realize, you know what was said so many times in the Bible, and people never catch on. Do not fear. Do not fear is mentioned in the Bible so much. And God's basically telling you, do not fear. You're strong. I have your back. Do not fear. And honestly, that's how I feel. He says that in the Bible. It says that in the Bible so much. Do not fear. Do not fear. Do not fear. But Tommy, the one thing, this is what I think, okay? I think there's multiple things going on here. Okay, I do. And what they said was some officials, and this came out through news stations, okay? Some officials in the Pentagon believe what we're seeing in the skies. Folks, make sure you're sitting down. This is coming from Pentagon officials. Some of them believe they're demons. That's what they
Yeah.
said. That our Pentagon officials believe they're demons. And that's why they don't want to release this. Now, listen, it could be both, Tommy. It could be both because you talked about the book of Enoch, right? The fallen angels. We all know the story where Jesus casted out the fallen angels. Okay? Did the fallen angels land here on earth? That's the thing. Are they here with us on earth? And you know what? I don't know, but I do believe something spiritual's going on. I don't believe people are coming from other planets. I think it's this whole world is spiritual. And guys, let me finish this. Tommy, oh my God. Okay. Are you ready for this, folks? This is gonna blow your fucking minds. Okay. The next galaxy, do you know how many? There's billions of galaxies, right? All over the world, right? I mean, all over the universe. Billions of galaxies. Tommy, I heard this and it made my head spin. The closest galaxy to us, if we left right now, it would take us 600,000 years to get there. Traveling the speed of light, it would take us 600,000 years to get there. The closest one would take us 600,000. That gotta blow people's fucking minds. When you're talking about infinity number of galaxies out there, and the closest one is 600,000 years away from us, traveling at the speed of light. Tommy, that's fucking mind blowing. And if you don't think, I was out on the lake yesterday, hearing this knowledge, seeing the beauty of the mountains and the lakes here in Nevada, how could you not think there's something else out there? There's a heaven out there. There's some kind of extra power, someone that oversees us, a God. I don't know how you think that can happen because this world is so unique and so strange. There has to be a higher power, Tommy. There has to be.
There is. There's no doubt about that. Seriously, I out of us siblings, that's five kids. Myself and my oldest brother is the only one that really attended church. Um, Throughout our years as a youngster to an adult, and up until I was an usher, I got heavily involved, and and 2018 something hit me. I can't explain it. I I prayed about it, but friends of mine, they always said, maybe it's called growth. You maybe he put you in a level where you outgrew everything and you got everything you need to know, because they know I didn't know till later. I diagnosed what you and Angela have, ADHD. So it
Right.
explains everything why my brain is like the movie The Beautiful Mind. It's all over the place speaking, because every time you see me speak, I stop or I stutter is because my brain's going like this and this is trying to catch up. And I see that commonly now with everybody that who says they have it, and some are just like bam, they're like into the commercial, they're blah, 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 how they speed up the
Yeah.
the the voice, So, anyways, um, I went to church and I'm happy. I'm really as soon as I walk in, I do not feel the presence of our Creator. I do not feel the presence of the man who walked the earth and walked on water. It's something different. I was getting angry. I couldn't explain it. I had to talk to one of the guys who became a pastor, who was an usher, and he just put his hand on my shoulder. He said, he goes, "There's something and it's between you and God." And said, "Okay." So I did pray about it, and it led me places where, you know, telepathically I can understand it, but me speaking it, it just felt somebody's pushing on my body and not to talk about it. It's like an energy is like, no, no, no. And that means they have to not be spoon fed and search for themselves. Because it says, do not be following earthly things. Don't be don't follow, you know what I'm saying? So, 2018, and then the lockdown happened. Because a year before the lockdown happened, I prayed to Creator. I said, I want outdoor teachings, not indoors, because every time I go into a building, I get angry. The
Right.
music's too loud. I'm not connecting. You're disrupting my connection with the Creator, the Almighty, the one
Right.
and only. And I prayed as I want outdoor. Let's go back to the outdoors. They call it a revival. Outdoors. You go outdoors and you talk more. It says, it's true. Two or more in my name, I'm with you. But I'm always with you without two or more. But 2019 came, we came on lockdown in 2020. Nobody can't go to church, can't do this. And I go, wow, wow. Because not only I spoke it, I said it up here over and over and over. And I'm thinking is that, like they say, be careful what you wish for or whatever. I didn't wish for it. I prayed for it. And I think it was like people like minded like myself wanted the world to wake up. Maybe like what you said, everything's coming to play as scriptures would say. This coming full circles, and so
Right.
that's why we're talking about this very subject is about coming back to those two missing individuals. Is that um, there are parallel connections to the higher being with the technology that is given to us, and they are. I mean, today our men and women are so smart; they just, outdoing themselves. And it's sad to say that to this day, that the general had all agencies in the military fleet out looking for him, and nothing's come up.
Right.
Same thing with the Aero Astro woman.
Right.
Nothing. Park rangers and local sheriff department. Nothing has come up. But when Nancy Guthrie came up, that was on 24/7, all day, every day. And but that dress suspicious. There's 3 people in a short period of time that went missing. What they all have in common? That's another episode on this podcast. But
Tommy, listen, I'm a little different than you. I grew up in a religious family. Okay. My father, I went to Catholic school. All of us went to Catholic school. My dad, I would see him pray every night. He said the rosary. So we all went to church together. I mean, I grew up in a very religious family. When I got older, I started raising my kids Catholic, but I'll be honest with you, I got away from it. And we all got away from going to church. We got away from all of that. So fast forward, when I left, I was a local cop for a while before I became a state cop. When I switched police departments, went over to the state, my police department with the state was, and I worked for the Capitol Police, they were very religious. There was a lot of religious guys in my department, okay? And they would come to me and they would say, Danny, you have this personality, this gift of speaking. You get people to listen to you. If you ever started preaching the word of Jesus, you would be ultimate, right? But Tommy, listen, I'm a sinner, okay? I don't think I even have the right to speak Jesus's voice because listen, I've sinned. I'm not the best guy in the world. But I'm going to tell you this. Fast forward to 2025. September 2025, I see a bullet go through Charlie Kirk's fucking neck. I see blood squirting out of Charlie's neck. I only saw Charlie on TikTok. Didn't know him at all. Just saw him on TikTok. And the anger that came over me, the anger, I could feel it now in my body. I was never so mad in my life, Tommy. And I knew at that moment that was changing me. And when that happened, I started talking about politics. I still talk true crime, but I added politics because I thought politics needs me. I gotta start speaking out. Fast forward to a couple days later, I'm depressed over this. Tommy, it was weird. I felt like somebody in my family died when Charlie Kirk died. Like I can't even explain it. I was sad. I was starting to cry. I'm a grown ass man. I was crying for another man that I didn't know. And I'm driving through the desert, Tommy, and I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off that Charlie Kirk was murdered and this world is going to shit. And I'm pissed off. And Tommy, I look up at the heavens and I said, what the fuck do you want from me? That's what I said to God. I said, and I could feel it right now. And I said, what the fuck do you want from me? And I was all alone in my car in the desert. And Tommy, I felt something come over me and I started physically crying. And not like tears, like a baby crying. Like I was physically crying in my car. Tears. And Tommy, the only way I could explain that was the Holy Spirit. And that was the Holy Spirit telling me, we need you, Danny. We need you. You have the mouth. Yes, you're a sinner, but we need you. And then that's when I went to Charlie Kirk's memorial. And after that, when I was in Charlie Kirk's memorial, they said, does anybody here want to be saved today? And I raised my hand. God, I'm getting emotional, Tommy. And they all put their hands on me and they prayed over me. And I cried just like I cried in that car. And I accepted Jesus as my Savior that day. And I talked to God and I said to him, God, I'm not going to be the saint that you wanted me to be. I can't be. I'm going to tell people off. I'm going to curse. I'm going to say fuck because that's me. I'm going to fight for you, but I'm going to fight for you the way Danny Miner does. And I hope that's acceptable. And Tommy, if you go back to the apostles were not good guys either. They all had their problems. Peter denied Jesus 3 times. Peter was a rough guy. He cut that guy's ear off. Do you remember? Jesus put the ear back on after Peter cut the guy's ear off. So, Tommy, I might not be worth it, but from this day forward, I'm going to preach Jesus' word. And I wear my cross, and I believe he helped me get this far. Because I had bad times in my life where I didn't think I was going to make it. Financially, mentally, everything. And Jesus Christ got me through that. And I swear that, Tommy. That's the truth.
I'm glad you share that with us and the viewers, and it's important for a testimonial from all walks of life. I think we're our walk with Creator, with God, it's by His design. He have each of us on assignment, His assignment. We're all on a different journey. You may not understand why Danny says, "Oh, I love Jesus, this and that, and I'm going to do this," but I curse like a sailor. Well, it's not for you to judge. It's between him and God. That's the relationship only. And if God says, "You know what, son, as long as you get my word out and that helps people to open up their eyes and preach the truth," and like what Charlie Kirk was doing, he challenged young minds to think, young minds to think, all ages to think. He brought in scripture. He's very knowledgeable. I'm not a Bible buff, but he knows what you are capable of doing. And same thing, what you said, that confirmation from your brothers is same thing with my brothers who became pastors. They
Oh,
said
wow.
I got three confirmations. And so when 2018 rolled around, I felt Creator call me in another direction. And um, so when I did a lot of research. So I went to other religions and look into that and how well they were collected. And then it was just, it's like what you said, the knowledge of Creator, it will expand your horizon. And when He gives you a gift, the mouthpiece, like you have, you're very gifted about it and articulate. And you've been doing this for over 5 years, and you're just getting better and better and better by it. But when you confess to God and you challenge, I call it the Lieutenant Dan moment, like in Forrest Gump.
Yes.
You know, we all had those, several of those, and uh, got goosebumps too as we're talking about it. I think uh, my oldest brother, Danny, I haven't talked about this with anybody. Yesterday was hard because when we went live, I was going through some stuff. I just got out of a therapy session. And
Okay.
anyway, Danny, you're the same age as my older brother when he passed 4 years ago. It'll be 4 years this year.
Okay.
And
57.
he served our
Wow.
country. He served him. He was in Iraq when the Twin Towers fell. They called him. He
Okay.
answered. He got his papers and went in 2003. I was working in corrections. I got closer to God. I got goosebumps really bad. Um, so that was heavy on my mind. So everybody was praying, praying. Everybody's praying. It worked. Okay, my brother got to come home. He was a scout. Now, when you sign up for that department, that means you're not coming home. Scout, they go and recon and they go
Yeah, I
out and
know.
do
Yeah.
stuff. So
Understand. Yeah.
yeah, and so my brother died. He was exposed to harmful chemicals over there.
Oh,
It
God.
affected his heart, affected his lungs, and his body system was going. And the VA during that time was not really helping people until Trump was making people do stuff. But at this time, my brother, I didn't know this until the funeral. My sister-in-law told us that my brother said he's not going to make it out of the 50s. He won't see 60. He's
Right.
going to. So the VA doctor gave him a timeline. None of us had any idea. But before, at my brother's memorial, the pastor did say that my brother was reconnecting with God, and he was get back. And he was already he's like me, going to church all the time, off and on, whatever. But just before he passed, those years that was left to him, he was trying to get back with walking the path. And uh, I look up to my brother a lot. And
Right.
there's three boys, and I'm the middle one. And so, whatever my big brother did, I wanted to do. He was a recruiter for the military, and I walked through the door, and I didn't know he was there, and I wanted to join. Um, I believe he knew what was ahead. My brother was super, super smart. He's super. Ben Affleck, I always use him as an example. You always brag how super smart a man in the room. You're not alone, kid. My brother was that smart. He was so advanced. There's a reason why he didn't want me to join. So what affected him, what killed him, and many other has been poisoned by harmful chemicals in there and the stuff that they do over there. So
Yeah,
with that being said, I had my Lieutenant Dan with God. I was so angry with him. This was unexpected. Lockdown kept us away. My brother was struggling, with his health. My moms know. Moms always see their kid. They know there's something wrong. My mom kept saying, "Are you okay?" To get, that what moms do. They're always asking you and tell you, "I know there's something wrong." Well, with this lockdown, I got to see my brother, but it was not like
I know
the
what you mean.
normal family. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Yeah,
angry. I'm still angry at Mr. Fauci and the rest of the Klan and in the government during that time that separated because I never got to see my brother. He invited us after lockdown got up in 2022, whatever, uh, go see his new home that he's retiring in. He's a disabled veteran in
right.
combat. Okay. And so he got a home in Washington. Um, he called on Father's Day to wish my dad a happy Father's Day and me. And I had no idea that's the last time I was going to hear his voice. He told my dad, "I love you. Happy Father's Day." He talked to mom, same thing. And next month, in July 15th, uh, he went to heaven. He passed. And I've never been the same.
Tommy,
Personally, I haven't. I never. No one's going to be the same. Anybody.
no,
I mean,
no.
grieve. Everybody grieves differently.
And Tommy, you brought up a point here that I've always wanted to make, and I haven't made it. But as guys, right? Tommy, other than my father, I never told another dude I loved him. Never. It's just dudes. We don't tell each other. You can be best friends with somebody your whole life and never tell another dude you love them. Guys don't tell other guys they love them. Other than my father is the only other guy in this planet that I told I love. But I'm going to tell you this, Tommy, because you told a sad story. I'm going to tell a sad story. My best friend, okay? My best friend, Bob. The guy was always the life of the party. Like he didn't want to be the life of the party. He just did such funny things that he was the life of the party. Well, 2019 or 2020. Oh, we lost Tommy again. Oh, there you are. Are you back?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you went
Can you
off
hear me?
again for some reason. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. We're back, kids.
All right. But anyway, my buddy in 2020, he comes to visit me in Vegas because I moved to Vegas. He was my best friend in Pennsylvania. I worked as a cop with him. He was with me all the time. We went places everywhere. The guy was my best friend. He comes down to Vegas. I visit him. He visits me, Tommy. We're sitting in the pool about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and he never got high before. So I gave him some gummies, and it was so funny. It was the first time he got high. He was laughing. He was joking. I ended up getting an Uber for him because he had to go back to the casino because that's where he was staying. He wasn't staying at my house. I got him an Uber and we were laughing. We were joking. I told the Uber driver, listen, he's really high. So if he says stupid stuff, he's just high. The Uber guy was laughing. He went back to the casino, and Tommy, little did I know, that was the last time I'd ever see my best friend. And Tommy, it breaks my heart because in 2020, when the pandemic happened, his wife called me and his wife called and said they both have COVID. Okay. And it didn't even hit me. Like they both got COVID. They're going to be okay. Like it didn't even hit me that he was going to die or anything. Tommy, a week later, his wife texts me and said, Bob's in the hospital. I don't think he's going to make it through the night. I was like, what? Like I was having dinner with somebody. I leave the dinner instantly. I got tears in my eyes. I get on the phone. I'm like, her name was Marcy. I'm like, Marcy, what's going on? She goes, Bob has it so bad I can't go. And she couldn't see him at the hospital. They wouldn't let her in the hospital. He was all by himself when they put that tube down his mouth and everything. Okay, and she told me he wasn't going to make it through the night. And 2 days later, he died. So, and I did a whole video on that, Tommy, because I love that man. And as dudes, we can't tell another guy we love him. And I don't know why, but I love Bob. He was my best friend, man. And honestly, when he died, it was like losing a family member. Honest to God, when he died, it broke my heart. It still breaks my heart because me and him had so many good times together. So you talking about your brother, dude, I totally understand. And guys, it's okay to tell your friend you love him. It's okay to tell another guy you love him. It's
Yeah,
okay.
it is because life is really, really short. After my
Yes.
brother died, that hit me. And that was your buddy, Bob.
Yeah. Best friend, man.
Well, he- brace yourself. That's my oldest brother's name.
Are you serious? Oh my God. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's a
we call
coincidence, huh?
he went by Bobby, but yeah, that was his name. Um, yeah, that's pretty wild. When you said his name, I kind of got choked up because I was thinking of my brother that shared the same name. Um,
Yeah. And
yeah,
Tommy, to think of him dying alone in that hospital kills me too. That
yeah,
no one could be with him. And Marcy said, oh God, I don't even want to say this because it chokes me up. She told me he was scared, you know? Whew, it kills me, Tommy. To think he died scared in a hospital bed because of fucking
yeah,
it kills me.
yeah. I hear you, and I think this is why Trump see how angry his base is, and when he asked for the grassroots to respond, and overwhelmingly, we don't want nothing to do with the WHO. They're just a joke. They Fauci and his crew, they just messed everybody's lives up. Our world is upside down. People dying in hospitals alone. That was forever cemented in the loved one's mind that they can't be with their loved ones or friends. It's horrible. That's horrible. That really is. And when my brother passed, that was
Tommy,
yeah.
Tommy, give me 1 second. So my phone, somebody's calling me on the other line.
Hey, it might be emergency. You might want to take it. You never know.
No, you know what it is, Tommy? You know what it is? I just bought that truck. And when you buy a truck, when I was looking for a truck, you go online and you say, hey, I'm looking for a truck. And then for the next three
Oh,
months, all these dealerships are calling me. I keep telling them I bought a car already, but they're calling me because they're trying to make a sale. So it's nonstop, just boom, 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 boom. Calling me. But Tommy, listen, we've been on over an hour. Let's go over one more thing, if you don't mind. And
sure.
we talked about some crazy shit today. But real quick, guys, I want to go over the Nancy Guthrie thing again. And I know we're beating a horse that's probably, this case is cold by now. I mean, it definitely is. But here's the thing. There was a guy on News Nation or one of the newscasts this week, and this is what he said. Okay. He said he has law enforcement friends. I think he was a retired law enforcement, and I think it was News Nation. Tommy, he said that he has people that are close to this case that he knows. And he said there is no leads and there is no suspects. Zero leads, zero suspects, nothing, Tommy. Could you imagine that? This guy, honestly, he came out, looked right in the camera. It's a major news station, and he said there's no leads and there's no suspects. He is close to somebody in the case. Tommy, that's baffling. That's friggin' baffling. Oh, Angela in the comments just said they have new footage. I didn't see that. Did you?
Oh, no.
I didn't see that at all.
Oh, my mind's going like this. That's that ADHD going. I'm kind of. I don't know if she sent me some, but it's wee hours of the night type of thing. It's funny. We're all on a sleeping pattern. It's just some telepathy thing. Is like when we can't sleep, we're all on the internet sending stuff to each other. It's cool, and that's how we kind of get knowledge of things. Uh,
She said they're not showing it to the public yet.
oh, okay, that's
They
what she
have,
said. Yeah.
yeah, they have footage, but they're not showing it to the public yet. So, folks out there, We got word that there is new footage, and we're getting this live on the air, me and Tommy. New footage the FBI and the sheriff's office have of the Nancy Guthrie case, but they're not releasing it yet to the public. That's the word out there right now. They're not releasing it yet to the public.
Good looking out, Angie. Hi. Thank you. Yeah. Way to go.
Tommy,
Yeah.
and you know what? I forgot to bring something up when we were on the UFO topic. If you don't mind, I want to say one other thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tommy, this is getting a little religious more, but did you ever hear of Padre Pio?
That sounds familiar. That
Okay,
sounds familiar.
we're talking about demons and we were talking about spirits with the UFO thing. Padre Pio got the wounds of Christ. He had stigmata. He woke up one day, he had the wounds of Christ on his hands, and he had the wounds of Christ on his feet. Okay? And Padre Pio, because he had stigmata, he was attacked by demons nightly. Google this when you get done here. I read the whole book on Padre Pio. He was an Italian priest. He was attacked by demons nightly because he had stigmata. And there's people around the world that get this. They get the wounds of Christ on their hands and they get them on their feet. And Padre Pio had stigmata and he was attacked by demons nightly. Honestly, go look that up. Maybe we can make a whole video on stigmata. We'll do a whole podcast one night on that. Yep, and Angela said she knew that too in the comments.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you guys educate me on that because now it strikes my intrigueness. Now I'm going to have to go check this out because if you're getting that type of level of, demons coming in and doing stuff like that, and then it's a spiritual war with the human being trying to fight it off, and you're getting these signs. That's they made a movie about that. Not about that, but there was a movie called Stigma. Remember that lady?
Rebecca Arquette.
Arquette.
Roseanne Arquette. That's who it was. Roseanne Arquette. Now listen, that's because Tommy, if you Google that, there's people around the world get the wounds of Christ. I mean, it's happened. Stigmata is actually a real thing that's happened. It's a miracle that the Catholic Church acknowledged, and Padre Pio, he had it. I mean, and he was attacked by demons nightly because he had it. Now, what they say is the more religious you are, you might get attacked by demons. Now, if we go back, Tucker Carlson said he was attacked by demons. And people think he's crazy, but he said he was. He said he had actual cuts down his side where the demon scratched him. This is Tucker Carlson said this. So, Tommy, we live in a crazy world. When somebody tells me they've seen a giant or a dinosaur, I'm believing it now.
Yeah, it's 2026. Everything's out of the bag.
Yes, everything's out of the bag.
You know, with the Padre and what Tucker Carlson's experiences, in my younger days, in my 20s, I was engaged to be married to my another baby's mama. He's a Marine. Well, he's a retired Marine now, but he lives. But the story I'm getting at is we went to this a fairgrounds, and there was this hypnotist guy, and he's and I was making a joke, you know. I was just like, "Ooh, you hypnotized me." He goes, "You know what? He goes, I like your character, buddy. You know what? Mind if I call you on stage?" I said, "Yeah, sure." He goes, "Well, let me try something first." Brother, he hypnotized me. I was accepted right on the spot. I'm standing in line waiting for my cheeseburger. And he goes, and then he said something, and he snapped his fingers, and I snapped out of it. I don't remember what was said. And I'm looking at him. He goes, "Would you like to be on stage? I heard that you're a performer. You like to perform in front of people, you know, karaoke and this and that." I looked at him, and I looked at my fiance, and I go, "How did he know that?" And so she must have told him. So long story short, I got up on stage in front of my hometown crowd. This is in Magic Mountain. Now we went from there to Magic Mountain, and they asked anybody was from the hometown. The crowd went nuts. I said, "Oh my God, my hometown peeps are here. So whatever I do on stage, let's just hope I keep my clothes on. That's the only thing I care about." So with that being said, fast forward, he must have forgotten to undo me. I went home with my woman, and I was living with her parents at the time. And I ain't this. I swear on the big guy upstairs. I was sleeping. Okay, I heard these noise. Remember the movie Ghost? Those little black creatures making those weird noises. It was
Yeah.
carrying that. Okay, and Patrick Swayze was standing there. Was trying to like, you know, fighting those things off. Okay, I was elevating. I was floating, hovering above the ground, going across the floor. Okay, we was going to church and stuff. We were doing. I mean, heavily in church. And I said, "Oh my gosh." So I looked over and I saw my father-in-law sitting upright, sleeping, watching Heat of the Night, but he was sleeping. And I was heading towards their antique, their grandfather clock that was handed down from generations. There, it was opened up a portal. All I kept saying was, "In the power of Christ," I was asking for Jesus' help. I was paralyzed. I was screaming. I'm wide awake. Okay, well, so I kept praying and hard, keep asking for Jesus to help me. I said, "Okay, whatever I'm doing wrong, I correct it. I please, just help me. I'm not ready to go yet. There's so many things I got to do." Fast forward, they put me back. They put me back where I was, and I felt them releasing me. And then when I looked up, the clock, the portal went like this. And so I woke my woman up and I said, "Look, you need to take me." We had to go back to Six Flags. I have to see this guy so he can undo whatever this was. And we did. The minute he did that, it was like there was like a Velcro release. Whatever was attached to me was gone. And so
Right.
when Tucker Carlson said that, it was like that drove me. That was like, wow, that was wild. But what you just said, when you are spiritually driven deep and your walk with God, you start to see things differently, not just touchy feely, but within, and your surrounding is different, and your connection and your thoughts are not heavy and dark. It's positive, and they don't like that. The demon does not like that. That means they have no control.
Tommy, listen, we got a question. Was there a hot girl sweating making pottery? Remember in Ghost? She's making that pottery. So there wasn't like a hot looking girl with like just a t-shirt on making pottery. No, that didn't
That
happen.
that was my woman. That was my woman. That was my woman. I had to go wake her up. Yeah, that scene right there, brother. That was like, as a dude, that to me, that I could see that. You know,
Well, listen, I'm going to tell you guys a little story, and I swear we're on over an hour and a half already, Tommy. But listen,
it's
I want to
okay.
tell you, I want to tell you guys a quick story, and then we'll start wrapping things up. Tommy, before I moved to Vegas, right? I retired 10 years ago from police work, and believe it or not, for the first time in my life, my kids were older. I finally had some kind of money. Okay. Like when I retired, I got my lump sum. Like I got my retirement monthly, but they also give you a lump sum of your vacation time, all that stuff. So I was jacked up with money. So I decided to take a vacation for 2 weeks and go up through like 9 states all the way up to Maine. Okay. So I went all the way up to Maine and I stopped in Salem, Massachusetts and I visited the witch trial area where the witches were buried. And Salem, Massachusetts was awesome. But I go see a medium in Salem, Massachusetts. I paid to see a medium. Okay. So I go see this medium. I pay. I sit down with her. And she goes to me. She starts telling me, I said to her, she goes, "You're not going to stay here much longer, are you?" And I was moving to Vegas in 2 months. I was moving to Vegas in August. This was June. Okay. I said, "No." I said, "I'm moving to another state." And she looked around. She goes to me, "Okay." She goes, "You're going to do good there. I could see it. You're going to do good there." And she goes to me, I said, "You mean I'm going to make it in Vegas?" She goes, "Make it. This is where you've been waiting for your whole life. This isn't only going to make you're going to be somebody for the first time in your life. And you've wanted this all your life. And this is the change you needed." And Tommy, the stuff she told me that came true. She told me that I was going to be some type of investigator here in Vegas. I'm not really an investigator, okay? But I kind of do it. I started out with true crime here, investigation, true crime. I started with the Idaho 4. I've been on how many criminal documentaries? And she told me that's what I was going to do here. And then she told me I would finish my life. Are you sitting down, Tommy? I will finish my life as a politician. She told me my last thing will be a politician. Once I make my money from whatever I'm doing now, I will switch to being a politician.
Wow.
Maybe I will be a congressman.
Well, you could represent and keep Las Vegas great again.
Yes, I could. And Tommy, here's the thing. She also told me that stuff about my father, that my father came through because she was a medium. And she told me stuff about my father that, oh my God, it brought tears to my eyes.
Wow.
You know, that he was proud of me. And listen, I'm going to be honest with you, Tommy. My dad would not approve me moving to Vegas. Like, he would have been totally against it. He would have been like, you're leaving your family. You don't leave your family. But my kids were old. You know, but my dad was still that old school where you don't leave your family. Doesn't matter if your kids are in their 30s, 20s, whatever. Okay?
Yeah.
But I believe I chose the right path for me. I believe I was meant. God, we talked about this. God gave me, for some reason, this gift of communication. It's the only gift I got. I can't sing and dance. Remember what Rocky said? They asked Rocky, why do you fight? And Rocky said, because I can't sing and dance. So I'm a content creator because I can't sing and dance. Okay? So that's why I'm a content creator. But we got to use the gift that is given to us. But Tommy, I totally believed everything this medium said to me. It was crazy. And if you ever get a chance to go to Salem, Massachusetts, it was fun as hell. It was fun as hell.
I rich history there, man. Real rich. That's where I think that's where they, I guess, had the most death of women, and they claimed that there was witchery or whatever, and they're just too scared of it. I guess it's because, like you said, they're medium. They're not attacking anybody. They're just misunderstanding the gift that people are giving. So if God gave you a gift to do that type of stuff, some people say, well, that's not God. You don't, I mean, people just don't know that. But for what she said, and here you are today, you know, that's confirmation right there. And I mean,
it is.
If that's the route one day it lays on your heart, and there's an opening, and I mean, look at your base now on your platforms, and they don't matter where you're going to go, wherever your gift that you're given, with your background, there's no doubt in my mind you'll keep your state, okay, that you're representing, safe, keeping these predators out. Nobody's crossing in without being vetted. If they're here on a visa, it's just like term limits with Congress. These are going to be visa seasonal people too. But I believe with your background, with your experience, and on social media here too, and your background on law enforcement, if you decide to go to that direction, I'll vote for you.
And listen, one thing I want to say out there, like I said, I was born and raised Catholic. And the nuns, listen, when they weren't beating me, because nuns beat me every single day, them nuns beat the shit out of me, Tommy, every single day. But I still got some lessons from them. And this stayed with me my whole life. For some reason, you got to realize I'm 57 years old. I probably heard this when I was 9. Okay? I probably heard this 49 years ago, and it stayed with me. And that nun said, Jesus gave us all a gift. That's what she said. Every one of us have a gift. And it's our duty to find that gift and then use that gift that God gave us. And I found that gift. My gift is I could talk. I don't know why God gave this to me, but I have this gift of communication. When I was in speech class in college, when it was my turn to give the speech, our professor announced Danny's giving his speech tomorrow. Everybody was like, yeah, I can't wait to come in. And in,
right on.
And in college, that's when I started realizing I do have this gift. These people actually want to hear me give a speech. And that's when I got into police work, Tommy, I became our PIO guy. Okay. I gave our public information officer. I was the guy that would go live on the news. I was the guy that talked to all the press. I was the guy that did all the crime preventions because I had that gift. Okay. Now, a lot of cops called me, they called me, not a good friendly cop, Danny. They used to bust my balls because I was a dare officer and I did crime prevention. So they would call me, friendly cop, Danny. They'd call me friendly cop. They'd bust my balls. But Tommy, you got to use what I'm saying to people out there. Find your gift, use your gift. This is the. Do I work hard now? Yes. I'm trying to make it here on Rumble. For some reason, I can't make it. It's been 2.5 months. I can't make it here on Rumble. Every other platform I made it on. Okay. And I will make it here on Rumble. It's just taking some time. But find your gift, go after it. And if you're doing it, like I said, this is hard. Being a content creator is hard. It takes up hours and hours of my time a day that I give up. And I'm doing this 7 days a week. But listen, when you're doing something you love, it's not work. It's 9 o'clock at night. I've been on here an hour and a half. I'm not getting paid for this. I love doing this. This is why I'm doing it, because I love talking. I love getting the word out, and I love giving the message out. So use your gift. Use your gift. True. Okay, Tommy, I swear we're getting off because we're on almost an hour and 40 minutes now. One last thing, because this is the only thing we didn't talk about. Trump met with the Prime Minister of Japan today. I can't even talk about this without laughing. Trump met with the Prime Minister of Japan today, and a reporter from Japan said, "Sir," he said, "why didn't you let Japan know that you were attacking Iran? Why didn't you let your other allies know that you were attacking Iran?" And this was a Japanese reporter. And Trump looks at him and says, "You didn't tell me about Pearl Harbor. You guys like surprises." How could you not like this guy? Tommy, it's funny as shit. Like, at first he starts telling them, "Well, we wanted to surprise attack them," and then all of a sudden it hits them. "You know what? Fuck you." And he goes right after the guy and says, "Hey, you didn't tell us about Pearl Harbor." That's why I like this guy. And when he said that, Tommy, it hit me. This is why people don't like him, and this is why people like him. You're either on the fence, but that's why I like him. He don't sugarcoat anything. When it comes to his head, he says it. You know?
Brother, when you did that little clip and you brought to attention what Trump said, I was like, because you made it funnier, and I was laughing my butt off. And so TikTok, I happened to swipe up. It was a News Nation, I think it's called. And Trump was up there sitting there and he taking the reporter's question, and he just kind of looking at this guy. And he goes, "Well, he's not very, like you just said, I'm not big on giving, announcements because our enemies are watching, and I don't want people to know our tactics or our movement and element of surprises." He goes, "Speaking of that," he goes, "what happened to Pearl Harbor?" He goes, "You guys are surprised. Look like once you tell me." I laughed my ass off, and he was, it was comical but serious all at the same time. I was like, "Oh, this is why he got elected. He speaks like we do."
Yeah. And Tommy, he does. I hate to say this, but I speak just like Trump. Listen, I'm not going to give you some big fucking words, and Trump isn't going to give you big fucking words. Our vocabulary is very short, but our words are effective. Our words are effective.
I mean, he is a smart man. He went to Princeton and went to the military school and all that, but he can relate to everybody he encounters, no matter if you're here, 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 here. He speaks the language that everybody generally talks. It's like how we're talking, and you can understand and you can relate, and it's funnier than shit because this guy has a good comedic timing. I mean, as a kid, we seen him, when we're growing up. I mean, he used to be in these golf tournaments or whatever activities going on. He sponsors it with his money. He shows up. This guy's athletic. He throws footballs. I seen this guy play baseball. There's nothing this guy couldn't do. And when he did The Apprentice, I mean, I seen a side of him. I go, "Oh, this is how he operates." You know, it's called Art of War, and the Art of the Deal came out. I wanted that so much, but they wanted like $89 or $90 back in the '90s when that came out, and I begged my wife then. I said, "Yeah, I want this." I said, uh, "Can I get this?" I said, "This is going to help us." And she's looked at me and goes, "That's back then. $90 was a lot of money."
Fuck yeah, for a book. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
I mean, $20 went a long ways for groceries back in that day, you know. But I didn't read The Art of War until I worked at the facility at a prison, and I was watching the inmates' tactics. They're learning from that. That book it's contraband. It was not allowed in the facility. How they smuggle that in, I have no idea. But when I came across it, when I do a raid, I got that book and I got promoted to recreational officer. I ran the recreation for the inmates, you know, the library, the sports that they do outside. So I got the book, brother, and I'm reading this. And I said, this is very interesting. So fast forward when Trump announced he's going to be president, and I see how his tactics when he's up in the podium debating the rhinos and the career politician, you're hearing yourself up there. You're hearing yourself talk. I said, that guy speaks my language. This guy's a multi-billionaire. He could do anything he wants. And he was outrunning these people. I mean, it was the badass thing I ever saw. And till this day, when that Japan joke, I let's call it the Japan moment because that guy got owned. Why don't you tell me your secret? Why you palm Pearl Harbor? Well, how'd you guys end up doing that? But I tell you what, that's Trump. That's
Yeah.
Trump. He's
And
witty. He's fast.
Tommy, and the Prime Minister of Japan, she loves Trump. You can tell she
Yeah.
likes him. She thinks he's hilarious. She likes Trump. I mean, you can
He
see
does.
Japan really became our friends. It's really with Trump. They really like Trump. But we're getting a lot of comments here, Tommy. First of all, it's a good thing. They said Trump is more arrogant than me. Tommy, I didn't know I was arrogant. But you know what? I learned something, Tommy. I learned something. You have to be a little arrogant in what you do. And I learned that from Trump. You got to be a little arrogant. You got to be confident. It's not arrogance, it's confidence. If you watch Trump walk in a room, he owns the fucking room. And when I walk in a room, I do the same thing. I own that fucking room when I walk in. I put that in my head. And Trump does the same fucking thing. Here I am when I walk in the door. I do the same fucking thing. And it's just something that you put in your mind. And hey, listen, I'm here. I got something to say, and you're going to listen. It's all about attitude. It's not arrogance. It's confidence. It really is.
Yeah. Wow. That's a comment section. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, and then and I got to admit that we're getting busted for being old. They said, is that when $20 groceries were? Were you guys playing Nintendo on the original Nintendo? So, Tommy, Angela's busting her ass a little bit here today for being old.
Yes. 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 I can buy with $20. I kid you not. I can buy half a basket of groceries. Today's money, $20, I'll buy you probably a bread and milk, if that.
Tommy, I'm going to tell you guys another funny story before we get off here. Talking about this and what we're saying, okay? We had a little grocery store when I was growing up. It was called Al's Market. It was one of them little mom and pop grocery stores that was like the front of a house, okay? Like you would see in New York City, them like old time grocery stores. And we would go over Al's all the time. And I swear to you guys, my parents would give me $1. $1. And that dollar was like having 100 fucking dollars when you were a kid. That dollar bought sodas for all my friends. Okay, it brought us all candy bars. That dollar went so far. You could buy 4 iced teas with that dollar. iced teas was a quarter, candies were 10 cents. I mean, that's the era I grew up, where $1 given to a kid was fucking huge. If you had $1 on you, you were fucking rich.
Yeah, you were. I mean,
Yeah,
that dollar stretch, it went a long ways. My parents were telling me the story. You know, a roll of toilet paper was a nickel, and the burgers and fries and a malt shake was 50 cents or 75 cents. And
yeah.
so my mom, there were 6 kids in her family. So what they used to do, collect bottles and stuff, and when they turn that in, they get money, and they'll go to a taco stand or a burger joint, like you see in the movie Grease. That's where they all hung out, and the money you could buy your friends something. You're like the Trump in the 50s. I mean, that's what the money was. But now, $100 is like a $20 bill in this day and time. It
Oh,
is
yeah.
crazy. It is
Tommy,
crazy.
and I'm going to tell you how to, and our people in the comments, they're like, especially the younger people, Tommy, here's the thing. You're going to laugh at this. And at this Al's Market, I swear to God, guys, we had a charge account. So we could go there, charge things without a Visa card. Okay, back then
Oh
I don't
yeah.
even know if there was Visa cards. I swear to God, if my mom wasn't home, I could go over to Al's, I could get candy bars and soda, and Al will put it on the book, and my mom will pay him at the end of the week. And you know how Al did this? He brought out a tablet and put Danny owes me 75 cents. Danny owes me $1. I swear to God, he had this book with it written in there how much people owed him, and then my mom would come pay him, and he would scribble it out. I swear on the Holy Bible that happened. I swear to God. So
There was this.
back then, people trusted people. You can't do that anymore. you know?
Oh no, 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 no. Times have changed. I know what exactly what you're talking to do is it's called Dell's Market. It's the same thing. My mom used to send me down to get her a Pepsi, some peanuts, and she write a note. She write a note what she wanted, and I go and get the stuff, and it's same thing what you just said, and she said, and a pack of smokes. This was when my mom was smoking, and my son Tommy has my permission to ask you for a pack of smokes, and my mom signed it. So I handed it to him, and he goes, "Okay." It was like nothing. I go get her Pepsi, I get her peanuts, I get her pack of smokes. She said, "Whatever you want." This was with $1. I said, "Okay." So I got me and my brother the big league chew and the fake cigarettes or the dipping stick, with the white stick and the dip
Yeah.
powder, and you get to lick it and stick it in there and get your flavor. And that was all on $1, bro. And came home. My mom put peanuts in her Pepsi, and she'd go outside and do her thing with her cigarette. But uh, luckily, my mom did quit when we were still little, under the age of 10. But yeah, those days were so cool. That's when soda was great. Dr. Pepper was awesome. Orange Crush was awesome. Mountain Dew. Oh, just like that. NASCAR with Will Ferrell and that one guy, Ricky Bobby. That Mountain Dew was the shit back in our day. Wired you up, man.
Listen,
I'm so
Angela's.
jacked up on caffeine. That's true. As a little kid, Mountain Dew, that was a go thing. That was a coffee in our generation, Mountain Dew.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, that was insane. Tommy, we got other comments there. When I was in Italy, I sent a 5-year-old to go buy me cigarettes. I was 15. Oh, you know what, Tom? Oh, we lost Tommy. I guess we're going to end it there. Tommy got knocked. Oh, there he is. All right, Tommy, listen. One last thing. I swear to God, we're going. Okay. The
Okay.
other, the other thing people, the other thing people don't realize, Tommy, and I'm sure this happened to you. My father and parents, when they went to the bar, like after a softball game, you sat at the bar with your father. You went
Yeah.
in the bar with your parents. You weren't in the restaurant part of the bar. You were in the fucking bar. I swear to God, they let kids sit right at the fucking bar with their parents. Am I right, Tommy?
That is correct. Yep.
And I'm going
Fish
to
and
tell you,
chips.
yeah, and I'm going to tell you guys something else. My little league coaches, I kid you not, this is a true story. And I think we talked about this once before. My little league coaches would bring a case of beer to practice. They would bring a case of beer to practice, drink while we were practicing. I remember them sitting on the ground throwing beer cans all over the Little League field. Tommy, them coaches would be in fucking jail today. They would be in jail for drinking in front of us
Island
at a
Games.
Little League. Yeah, but back then it was nothing. Here comes the coach with a case of beer and laid it down, and he would drink while we were playing.
Yeah. Yeah, and have a cigarette. And even the ball players in our era from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, all these athletes, they all smoke, and especially the Raiders. Now the Las Vegas Raiders. They were notorious for hangovers. They played better wearing their hangover. They show up with the cigarette in their hand, throwing the ball, kicking the ball, running with the ball with a cigarette in their hand. They were much healthier back then, even when they were smoking. And now they didn't get paid like they do nowadays. Back then, there were school teachers, library teachers. My dad, when he lived in the Bay Area, his math teacher played for the Oakland Raiders. He was, I think, a quarterback or a receiver, but he was a math teacher.
And Tommy, I'm going to freak people out in the comments now. These younger people in the comments aren't understanding this. I'm going to freak them out even more. Okay? I grew up in Pennsylvania where deer hunting, shooting was a thing. Everybody in fucking Pennsylvania hunted. Okay? There was kids that when they turned 16 years old, they would bring their trucks to school with their shotguns in the window on the back of their truck. So on their truck, right behind them, were two shotguns. They would bring shotguns to fucking school. And no one said a thing, Tommy.
No, because back in those days, they were teaching kids how to shoot. There was a curriculum.
Yes. Tommy, I was in the hunting and fishing club in school. We had a hunting and fishing club in school. That was the only club I joined in high school. It's the hunting and fishing club. But yeah, Tommy, my dad started taking me to shoot when I was like 14 years old. My dad taught me how to shoot a gun when I was young. He took me out. We did it protective. You know what I mean? So no one would get hurt.
Oh, yeah.
It was different back then.
Well, I like to say thank you to your younger generation people out there for your comments, because it brings us a memory lane, and I'm glad we get to share. If you're looking at vintage people right here, you are looking at the vintage people, because we're the last ones pretty much, other than our kids born in the 1900s.
Yep. And listen, me and Tommy got the look this week. I got the ponytail. Tommy got the hat. You got to like our looks this week. We're going to look good when I do these clips, Tommy.
Hey, yeah. That's Generation X right here. We're giving it to you like it is.
That's the only way we know how. Generation X is the toughest generation around. It's the fact. That's the way it is. But Tommy, thank you. We've been on over an hour and 40 minutes. Guys, thank you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Tommy, thanks for coming on. We'll see you guys next time.
All right. Thank you, Danny. Bye.